Bonjour, this is Mr. Case, and this is 21.2a specifically. We're going to be talking today about France and the ultimate monarchy. Now, in our last section, 21.1, we talked about absolutism and why the reasons that absolutism kind of came about. Why did we have the concentration of power with just one monarch? Well, it's because people got sick and tired of war. There were clashes with the nobles. Kings were basically getting stronger. And now you're seeing one king of one country instead of maybe 3 or 4 kings. All right, Henry of Navarre. Now, Navarre is a kingdom in France. And Henry was a prince. He's a Huguenot who is going to rule as Henry IV. Henry of Navarre becomes Henry IV. He marries an Italian noblewoman, and he is next in the line to the throne. The problem is France is 99.9% Roman Catholic, and he is a Protestant. So there's going to be a problem here. So Henry is a Huguenot who rules as Henry IV. He is the first Bourbon king. Now, Bourbon is a drink, but Bourbon is the last name of a French family. So he is the first of the Bourbon kings. And he is going to convert to Catholicism. Why does he do that? Because he believed that there was a need to have unity after fights between Catholics and Protestants. Again, the Protestants are called Huguenots in France. And he converts to Catholicism. Asked why, he said, Paris is worth a good mass. Well, later on, he's killed by a Protestant who fears he gave up too much. Before he dies, he passes an act of legislation called the Edict of Dance. Edict is just a statement. The Edict of Nantes. Nantes is a city in France. So the Edict of Nantes, Huguenots are allowed to live in peace and worship as they liked in some cities. So since he was a former Protestant, he's going to throw out some love to French Protestants. Hopefully there will not be any more massacres like the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre, and you will have peace and love. Well, that was the thought. Well, good old Henry gets stabbed to death, and now his son, Louis XIII, takes over. Okay, so Louis XIII, he's the son of Henry IV, who we just talked about, Henry Navarre. He was a weak king, but he does name a strong minister to help him rule. Now, since Louis is just a kid, he's not strong enough to rule. So he brings in an advisor, and the advisor's name is Cardinal Richelieu. Cardinal Richelieu. He is a hawk-nosed cardinal. He dresses in red. He's got a little red beanie. He is an official in the Roman Catholic Church. And as I said before, he's a hawk-nosed cardinal. He's got a long nose, and it's shaped in the beak of a hawk. But Richelieu rules France as a minister or an advisor. He's going to do a couple important things. Number one, he's going to end walled cities for Huguenots. He's going to end walled cities for Huguenots or Protestants, and also end walled cities for nobles. So if you have a fight as a king with the nobles, you'll be able to get to them. They are not allowed to have any walls. And Richelieu names middle-class agents to be your tax collectors. And he's also going to fight a ruling family in Europe called the Habsburgs, H-A-P-S-B-U-R-G-S. Now, the Habsburgs are are Catholic, but Richelieu sees that as a Roman Catholic minister, it would be better for France to oppose the Habsburgs. During this time, we have a group of intellectuals that are going to be called skeptics. New intellectual movement rises with French regaining power. During the time the French regain power, you're going to see a new intellectual movement. It's called skepticism. And skepticism is the idea that nothing can ever be known for certain. So you know the word skeptical. Hey, I'm skeptical of this idea. I doubt it'll work. Well, the philosophy of skepticism said that nothing can be known for sure. One of the greatest skeptics was a writer by the name of René Descartes. René Descartes. He wrote Meditations of First Philosophy. In it, it states that nothing is ever certain. Nothing is ever known for certain. And he develops a scientific method in a fuller way to help come to some conclusions. That is his contribution. In fact, he is the gentleman that said, I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. Well, this is about all I have time for. We will come back in 21.2. This is 21.2a. Mr. K signing off.